Okay, so step one, base map import and scale. I find it easiest to just drag and drop both my base map and my field slips. You may have multiple ones, and I'm going to do a later video about how to join them. This is assuming that you've already joined all your base maps into one and you've grouped them. Okay. I also realise a number of you have your base map in an Adobe Illustrator file. So what I would do in that case is drag your field maps into a new Adobe file, then open your provided base map file, unlock the layers, and simply copy your base map provided and paste it into your new Adobe Illustrator file. And then that means that you can then edit that as you wish. Okay, so that's you imported your maps. So the first thing you need to do is make one of your maps translucent so you can see the other map behind it. I find it easier to use my field slips to do this. So I set it to about 50% opacity so I can see what's going on behind. Because I've scanned my map, it's a slightly different scale to the base map, which is set at 1 to 10,000. So what I'm going to do is I simply drag into place and I use the letters and the words to make sure that everything's aligned. At least that's what I find easiest to look at. I've realised at this point that I don't actually have my base map and my field map in separate layers, which may cause confusion later on. So that's simply what I'm trying to correct here. Something to say is that sometimes when you drag photos, you can distort them. This is not a worry in this case because your base map is set to a certain scale and and it's at its set dimensions. And by dragging your field slips to fit that, you can't distort them if you're aligning it perfectly with the lower map, the base map. So now that I've corrected them and put them in the right into the right layers, I'm just now trying to align my map. You can see this top right hand corner was aligned there, but however it's not aligned further down. It may be that it's when I scanned it, it wasn't completely straight, so that's why I'm tweaking its orientation. And again, I just try and use the words to make sure that it's aligned. So you can see all the words are set off here. So that's simply what I'm going to be doing for the next few seconds. It's quite a lengthy process and it can be a bit annoying, but it is so worth it by the end, because if you don't ensure that everything is aligned at the beginning, even if you're a few millimeters off, that's meters and meters in the field. So when you're tracing over your base maps, you're actually ending up tracing over a different area. So it's just try and be as accurate as possible from the beginning. Okay, so you can see at this stage I'm almost done. Everything's more or less aligned. So what I'm going to do is just ensure that everything's as accurate as possible. I'm going to zoom in quite far because you can see it's actually quite offset down here. And remember I was talking about millimeters being meters, that's quite a distance I've offset that. So that's why I'm going to tweak it as closely as possible. See that word now looks really clear, therefore it's closely aligned. But you can see here again, it's off. So sometimes it's just that the map's orientated in the wrong direction and so on and so forth, but it may just need tweaking from the sides. So that's what I'm going to do in this case. And see. And you can see that now, at this point, it's almost exactly perfectly aligned. So that is me more or less done. You may want to zoom in more and just ensure, but for the quickness of this video, I've just assumed that that is set. So now I'm going to increase the opacity of my field slip and put it below my base map. And then because I'm going to do all my layers underneath my base map, I set my base map to around 50%, maybe a wee bit higher. And that is me now set. So I can now start my map.